In the wake of a devastating storm that reportedly claimed thousands of lives, a far stranger story began to surface, one that had nothing to do with weather, yet seemed just as unsettling. Whispers spread rapidly about a hidden discovery tied to a reclusive mountain man known for his rugged independence. What started as a routine inspection after storm damage soon transformed into a tale of secrecy, hidden chambers, and unexplained findings. The story captured attention not because of confirmed facts, but because of its eerie details, raising a haunting question. What secrets can lie buried beneath a life devoted to simplicity? The quiet life that raised questions. For decades, Eustace Conway lived a life that many admired, self-reliant, deeply connected to nature, and far removed from modern chaos. His preserve, Turtle Island, symbolized a return to basics. Visitors saw handcrafted buildings, traditional skills, and a philosophy rooted in harmony with the environment. Yet, among those familiar with the land, there were always subtle hints of something more. One structure in particular, an old barn, stood apart. It wasn't just a storage space, it was guarded carefully. Access was limited, and curiosity about its contents quietly grew over the years. A routine inspection turns unusual. After the storm caused structural damage across the property, local officials arrived to conduct safety inspections. Most buildings showed expected wear, broken beams, loose boards, water damage. But the barn immediately stood out. It was secured far more heavily than necessary, with reinforced latches and an almost deliberate sense of isolation. Attempts to contact Conway failed, leaving officials with no choice but to proceed. When they finally gained entry, the atmosphere inside felt distinctly different. It wasn't just the smell of wood and age, it was something sharper, almost clinical, as though the space had served a purpose beyond simple storage. The hidden entrance beneath the floor. The discovery that changed everything came unexpectedly. A loose floorboard shifted underfoot, revealing a concealed hatch beneath the surface. Carefully pried open, it exposed a narrow staircase descending into darkness. The officials hesitated, sensing they were crossing into something private, perhaps even forbidden. Flashlights revealed a confined underground space, lined with shelves and objects that seemed deliberately organized. It was no longer a barn, it was something else entirely. The realization that someone had invested time and effort into hiding this area raised immediate concerns, prompting authorities to escalate the situation. A chamber of unusual collections. Inside the hidden chamber, rows of glass jars lined the walls, each containing preserved specimens. Animal organs, feathers, bones, and plant samples filled the shelves, all meticulously labeled. The air carried a chemical scent, suggesting preservation techniques. It resembled a scientific archive more than anything rustic. The precision of the arrangement hinted at a systematic effort to document and study. This was not the work of casual curiosity. It reflected discipline, intention, and a long-term commitment. The contrast between the simple life above and the detailed work below created a sense of unease among those present. Tools of study, not survival. On a central table lay instruments that further deepened the mystery. Scalpels, syringes, magnifying lenses, and handcrafted microscopes suggested experimentation rather than observation alone. Some tools appeared aged, while others seemed recently used, indicating ongoing activity. This was not a forgotten space, it had been maintained. The idea that such work was happening in secrecy raised questions about its purpose. Was it personal research, survival experimentation, or something more unconventional? The tools blurred the line between naturalist curiosity and scientific inquiry, leaving investigators uncertain about how to interpret what they were seeing. Journals filled with cryptic knowledge. Perhaps the most intriguing discovery came in the form of journals, bound in unusual materials and sealed carefully. They contained handwritten notes, diagrams, and sketches. The pages detailed observations about endurance, isolation, and adaptation to extreme conditions. Some entries explored the relationship between human and animal biology, suggesting a fascination with how life forms respond to stress. The language was methodical but occasionally cryptic, with phrases that hinted at larger theories. Dates spanned years, showing long-term dedication. The writings painted a picture of someone deeply engaged in understanding the limits of the natural world, and possibly human potential. Government markings and strange crates, adding another layer to the mystery, were crates marked with faded official insignia. Some bore labels resembling government agencies, though their origins remained unclear. Inside were reels of film, equipment, and materials that didn't seem to belong in a private preserve. Whether these items were salvaged, repurposed, or obtained through unknown means became a central question. Their presence suggested connections beyond the isolated lifestyle Conway was known for. The idea that such materials were hidden beneath a remote barn fueled speculation about larger networks, forgotten programs, or unexplained collaborations. The most disturbing discovery. In one corner of the chamber stood a chest containing bones, some clearly animal, others more ambiguous. Investigators could not immediately determine their origin, raising serious concerns. Were they archaeological remains, educational specimens, or something else entirely? The lack of context made the discovery unsettling. It shifted the narrative from curiosity to potential investigation. This was no longer just about hidden knowledge or private study. It introduced the possibility of ethical or legal implications. The uncertainty surrounding the bones intensified the sense that the underground space held answers no one was prepared for. Conway's silent reaction. When Conway finally appeared, his reaction was unexpectedly calm. He showed no visible panic or surprise, only a quiet disappointment. Witnesses reported a single, cryptic remark before he withdrew from the scene. His demeanor suggested that the discovery had been inevitable. Rather than defending or explaining, he seemed resigned. That silence spoke volumes, leaving observers to interpret his intentions. Was he protecting something, waiting for the right moment, or simply unwilling to share knowledge he believed others wouldn't understand? His reaction deepened the mystery rather than resolving it. Rumors, speculation, and fear. As news of the discovery spread, speculation grew rapidly. Some believed the underground chambers extended far deeper than initially revealed, possibly containing even more complex structures. Others spoke of unusual phenomena in the surrounding area: strange sounds, electronic interference, and changes in animal behavior. Whether these claims were real or exaggerated, they contributed to an atmosphere of fear and fascination. The preserve, once a place of learning and simplicity, became the center of an unfolding enigma. Stories evolved with each retelling, blurring the line between fact and imagination. Outro: a mystery without answers. In the end, the truth remains uncertain. What was discovered beneath the barn may never be fully explained, leaving behind more questions than answers. Was it the work of a man deeply committed to understanding nature, or something far more complex? The lack of official clarity ensures that the story will continue to grow, shaped by speculation and curiosity. What began as a simple inspection turned into a legend, one that challenges assumptions about isolation, knowledge, and secrecy. Sometimes the most ordinary places conceal the most extraordinary mysteries, waiting quietly until the moment they are uncovered.